let me know how the audio is for you. That's loud enough, or?
That is more than loud enough.
Okay, well, I'll turn it down then if you want.
Oh, that is A-okay.
Okay. Cool. All right, well, in that case, I mean, if you need a few more minutes of practice, go ahead, but I mean, otherwise...
I'll explain later, but I'm setting up something for...
Setting up something, all right.
Yeah.
Well, folks, that's a great opportunity for me to say that this Speedrun Marathon is coming to you live from the Greater Philly Expo Center in Oaks, Pennsylvania. It is a marathon that's supporting several charities. As RGB LAN 3 days of gaming. We got like 150 plus people here. It's a very good time. And excited to bring speedrunning back. Speedrunning first appeared at RGB LAN 4 in June 2019. So it's been a hot minute, but the LAN is back and speedrunning is back. So are you ready to go?
I'm all ready to go.
Awesome. Well, in that case, I'm going to shut up. And I got my finger on the timer, so whenever you want me to start time, just count me down, let me know.
Okay, so I'm gonna load this file, and then I'm gonna count you down from 3. Okay? All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so this is Ratchet 1 New Game Plus. It's really fast, and this first planet in particular is really difficult. So, I'll try and explain the basis of this movement in a second. So, we're using the Walloper, which is this like rocket punch that you see here, and we're gonna use the in-level movies to basically store the momentum. Okay, I got through that first try, thank God. Okay. To basically store the velocity from the Walloper, and then it'll cancel Ratchet's state, and then we can do other movement out of that. So you saw there I was doing a lot of side flips. And so, same thing at the start of this planet. This is basically all we have for movement at the start, but that's going to change very quickly. So, right here, I'm trying to kill 2 enemies in this sequence. You have to kill all 3 to get to the next sequence. But if I do this Walloper and angle this in a certain way, I can kill the last guy and then make it to the elevator as he dies, and then we're already going to be back at the ship. Okay, so the next planet's pretty important. It's where we're going to buy the helipack, which opens up a lot more movement options. So you see, like, these first 2 planets, like I said, it's mostly Wallopers into either side flips or double jumps and things like that, more basic stuff. And right here at the start of this planet is a... you have to do 3 Wallopers back to back. And then here you're going to see the PDA for the first time, and the PDA is super valuable in NG+. It's one of the biggest differences between NG+ and the rest of the categories, because as you can see right here, I'm using it to infinite jump, and that's just one of the many things we're going to see. So now we have the helipack, very important. We can do these long jumps out of that, and here I'm going to transition into PDA side flips. So again, like the infinite jumps, you can just side flip infinitely and gain a crazy amount of height. That's fine. This is a pretty important sequence here. So normally you're locked into this cutscene when you jump on this train, but I'm gonna line it up so that this guy's actually gonna shoot me and break my position lock, and then we can actually move during this, which is super helpful. And ideally you can make it all the way to the last car before the next section plays. So there we go, perfect. Okay, not too bad. Those one thing about NG+, like I said, it's pretty fast, but these first 3 planets are absurd sometimes, and a lot of things can go wrong, so I'm A-okay with that. And I guess that's something to note about NG+, is when it gets hard, it gets really hard, but it's kind of funny that it lines up that you have these sections of like 3 or so planets of just insanely technical movement, and then usually a couple breathing planets. So this next planet, contrary to the first 3, is really easy. So see this door right here, and we're all good. And that's the whole planet. Just gonna make our way back to the ship. Okay. This next part, same thing. It's 2 clips back to back, but they're nowhere near as easy as that first one was. One thing that's cool about NG Plus compared to the rest of the Ratchet 1 categories is we use a lot of the different weapons. That's kind of what this game is known for, if you play this game casually or not. They give you this crazy variety of weapons. There's pretty much a weapon for every sort of situation, and with the later entries, they just get crazier and crazier. But NG Plus, we use quite a few of them. So you've already seen me use the decoy glove here. You've seen me use the Tesla Claw, which was the electric weapon that I used on the train. And right there, what I just did is I actually was able to skip. You saw I took the pod down to the warship area, and then the way I set that up there is you actually skip the pod animation going backwards, so that saves a bit of time. Okay, this next planet is where the game gets really difficult, so I'm gonna try and nail these as best I can, and I'll explain later. Okay, that's pretty good. Got that second try. So you might be like, what in the world did I just see? So basically, you're chaining over certain surfaces. You can chain long jumps and side flips together, as you see. As you see here, and you can do that over certain surfaces infinitely. So what we did there is I'm actually chaining together side flips into side flips, and you can gain a crazy amount of height with it. Again, only on certain surfaces. That planet and the planet I'm about to go to is completely defined by being able to do these. So one thing to note here is I'm actually going to drop into the mud and play an in-level movie, and that'll cancel the drowning animation. And because of that, the game basically puts you in a state where it thinks that you're dead, but it doesn't kill you. Obviously, I'm still moving, but one thing it does for that sequence there is it actually removes the speed cap, so you can just start flying with these. Okay, on to Batalia. This is probably the hardest planet in the run. Like I said, it's usually a lot of 3 or so planet sequences where it's just technical movement, just craziness, and I think this planet in particular is the apex of that. So right off the bat, I'm going to do 1 Walloper chain, and I'm going to try and keep my speed as best I can. There's 2 info box to get, which are the quarters you see. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, so couldn't keep my speed out of this one, that's okay. You'll see I'm using the PDA here to actually build some speed back up. You can kind of choose where to stop, and whenever you... So you can basically do these long jumps. I'm gonna back up here. You can basically start and stop the chains with the PDA, and it really helps with building up speed in such a short amount of time. If you don't have that much space to work with, you can normally build up speed pretty quickly. And again, that's a big difference between New Game Plus and some of the other categories. Okay, got through that. There's so much you can do with the PDA, and it's hard to comment on a little bit, but yeah, it is definitely, again, I can't stress enough, it is the biggest difference between New Game Plus and the other categories. When we do All Go Bolts a little bit later on, you're gonna see it's still pretty fast, but not as fast. It's gonna get faster later on though, but you'll have to see that one for yourself. Okay, so this is the only planet where we play as Clank, and this planet normally has a really, it's like a 7-minute Clank section with gadgebots and lots of puzzles, and yeah, we just all of it. It's pretty goofy. Thankfully, this skip does carry over into the other categories. We don't have in-level movies there, but there's another way. Here's a goofy trick for you. Oh, big flank jump. If you play the in-level movie just after he leaves the ground, you can get an absurd amount of height. It's really fun. Okay, so coming up we have gas bar. And like I said, after the very like technical planets, the last planet's pretty much a breather. This one's also kind of a breather. And this planet's weird because there's no actual like coordinates to the next planet. We're just gonna grab the pilot's helmet there, and that's gonna be useful on the next planet. Okay, so Pokitaru is a deceptively difficult planet. It's really long, and it seems on the surface to be an auto-scroller, and it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. Oh, that's the guy, by the way. He's got the drip. He's got a fake Rolex. So, I'm going to stand on top of the windshield here, and I'm actually going to use a weapon called the Visibomb, which is this guided missile that saves me. And basically, we have to escort the guy to the end, the garage over there. That's where we're going to try and get to him, but we have to clear out all these fish first. So while I'm on this boat ride that you normally, you just can't skip because you have to drive it, we're going to try and take out as many fish as we can over on this island. And we got 3, that's really good. That guy's really far back there, oh my goodness. Okay. Obligatory. I've never seen that before. So yeah, we're just going to be clearing out all the fish on the second island here, and then making our way on over. The guy moves pretty slow, so we can take our time with these. And then same thing, we're going to use the Visibomb. And something I should explain as well, if I clear all of these out fast enough, when I get to the third island, there's going to be a button I have to press. If I clear out all of them fast enough, by the time I hit that button, we will actually get the guy to move straight to the end. He'll just rock more straight to the end. And it saves a pretty healthy amount of time, so hopefully, I mean, these look like... The spawns are all pretty much the same on the fish, just sometimes they jump in goofy directions. And that makes hitting multiple with one missile a little bit tricky sometimes, but this all looks really good. And the way that I kill these fish, I can actually cut this corner here, which is what helps allow when I jump on this button and actually cancel it. Again, you're normally locked in, but I actually cancel it with the Visibomb. If I did this right,
we're here.
Perfect. Okay, so this is the undeceptively difficult part. So I'm gonna do, you normally have to get in this plane here. The way that we set this up, ideally I'm going to break all of these it's in a very specific pattern, and it's really tight with missiles. This is the only instance, I forgot to be so dirty, okay. This is the only instance of RNG in the entire run, so I'm praying for missile drops. The little ships on the side here you see, they either drop missiles or health, and there's no indication of what drops what, so you just have to get lucky. And you can normally like be fine if you don't get that many, but I didn't really get any there, and again, it's really, really tight without any extra help, so. But we got through that, so not bad at all. Okay, this next planet is also really, really hard. If I do this right, I can basically carry my momentum throughout one single chain, going all the way around different parts of the planet. Basically, we have to move one of the infobots that gives us the coordinates to a bunch of different spots. So right away, I'm going to try and land in a very specific spot. The way I landed, I didn't get to keep a ton of speed, so we're going to have to hack our way through this, but that's okay. I'm going to actually... Okay. That's fine. Having to do an extra walloper isn't too bad, and I'm actually going to do another one here. Oh, goodness. Alright, that's fine. This is, again, one of the more difficult planets in the run. Okay, this should be good. Okay, so there's a better example. And again, we have to move this, the glowing robot here to a bunch of different spots. And as you saw, because I died earlier, there's no checkpoints. So it can be a bit tricky. And then normally you're supposed to go up. You get a pair of, they're actually on this planet, you're supposed to get them as Clank earlier, a pair of like magnetic boots, and then walk up this, but because we didn't grab those, we can just PDA side flip up top there. And yeah, this ceiling definitely has collision, by the way. Okay, it's time for everyone's favorite planet. This next planet is a turret fight, and there's 5 sections of the ship we're supposed to destroy. However, there are certain spots that deal critical damage, but they're very, very precise. So basically, at this point in NG Plus's lifespan, we have to just pray that we get enough critical hits. And, okay. Something else I should mention is the turret's way up there, but if we do a chain, we can actually enter it from the bottom. It doesn't check your Y coordinates, so as long as the other coordinates are okay, you can just enter straight from the bottom. And hopefully... Okay, this looks good so far. You can tell if you're hitting the spots by how fast the flames shoot up. And again, they're very precise. And it doesn't help that the ship, as you see, it kind of bobs up and down. So... Okay, got through that. This planet, because that fight can be so sporadic sometimes, I took it pretty safe there, but that fight has killed more runs than I think any of us would like to admit.
Everyone who signed up for Duck Game, go ahead and make your way to the stage. Everyone who has signed up for Duck Game, go ahead and make your way to the stage.
Okay, so Gemlik is another planet where basically the entire planet is one chain going from one part of the map to the next. So the way I have this set up, I have the drone device out, which are those little robots that kind of protected me when all the enemies there were shooting at me. And we can basically cut that corner. This planet's normally like a labyrinth of just multiple pathways and going all over, you know, intertwining hallways and stuff like that. And with speed and the PDA, we're able to actually just cut straight to the end. And I should also mention, there's supposed to be a boss fight there, but you'll notice I canceled it and just went straight to the other platform on the other side. And for whatever reason, if you do that, the game's basically like, all right, that's good enough. The boss is dead, I guess. All right, so you'll know we don't have Clank now, so back to the same strats I used at the start of the run with wallopers and side flips and things like that. This is another planet that is very long and just lots of different pathways, but the only one that's important is the one I did, and thankfully that one's accessible right from the start here. So that's that entire planet done.
Once again, if you've signed up for Duck Game, go ahead and make your way to the stage. If you have signed up for Duck Game, go ahead and make your way to the stage. We will be starting Duck Game in a few minutes.
All right, 3 planets left. This first one, again, we're pretty much just going to go straight to the end. There's a bunch of different paths, and you're actually supposed to come back to this planet later on with a gadget that we get on a different planet that we're not going to go to. But the end of the planet is actually, if you look right in front of me, there's that, like, I don't know what to call it, a laundry chute? I don't know what that's supposed to be. But that's actually where the end of this level is. So we can just make our way on up over here. And the door opening is tied to an enemy that I just killed from the other side. And that's that whole planet done. Okay. These last two planets are pretty technical. It's about getting speed early on and then being able to carry it. There's so many spots on this planet in particular. There's so many spots where you can get ledged, and basically if you intersect with the ledge, it'll just eat all your speed immediately. So I'm going to try and carry this all the way over here. Okay, that's pretty good. And again, this is another planet where it's just lots of long stretches, long hallways. But we're basically just going to beeline it straight to the end. And from out here, we can use the decoy once again and go right through this wall. And this is the end of the final hallway. Alright, one last planet, and probably, I mentioned Batalia is probably the hardest. This is maybe the second hardest, and it's the last one, so go figure. We're going to use a technique here called long jump slope intercepts. So basically, I'm going to wallop her at the very start, and I'm going to land in very specific spots along the rock wall that you see back here. And carry our momentum all the way, that was a gorgeous chain, all the way over here. Now, you may have saw I was actually fighting the final boss before I started this run, and the reason for that is, for some reason in New Game Plus, when you beat the final boss on the PS3 version, and you don't press the final button that ends the game, no matter what file you're on, whenever you go to this area, so long as you don't spawn Drac, and the way that I went around that platform I was just on, we didn't spawn Drac. Normally you beat Drac, and the cannon that you see facing upwards right now is facing downward, and after you beat Drac, then it turns upwards. So as long as you beat Drac, and then go to any other file and get to this area, the gun will be facing up and Drac will not spawn. Get ready on time in now. I'm gonna apologize now for not being more prepared on time. There's a lot to talk about, I'm sure you noticed. Okay.
No worries, you're good. You're good. I was ready. I was paying attention. I was wrapped with attention.
Perfect.
So excellent. Well, do you need to take a second, a breather, or are you ready to go right into all gold bolts? Or
I'm going to need to load a different file on a different account, but
okay.
It should only take me a minute.
You want me to hide the screen? Do I need to hide the screen?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Just checking. Well, I'm gonna flip it over anyway, folks.
Oh, all right, perfect.
Reminder once again that we are, at RGB LAN 5. The beautiful Greater Philly Expo Center in Oaks, PA, for 3 days of gaming, including 2 days of speed running. What you just saw was Ratchet and Clank New Game Plus by marathonman. We're going to go ahead and get all gold bolts ready in a hot second here. So just give that a moment while I update the stream overlay, which is the real reason that I went to the break screen, not to accommodate the runner. It was me all along. The guy behind the curtain. But yeah, so give me just a second here, and we'll get this up in just